welcome to the Forbes India Cover Story podcast series in association with theindicast.com. My name is Abhishek, and today's cover story is on an internet giant that has become part of the daily routine of millions of consumers around the world. Over 10% of the web traffic moves on Netflix, and it has grand plans in India. Let's hear more on that from Rajiv Singh, who has authored the story. He's with me on the other line. Hi, Rajiv.
Hi, Abhishek.
When Netflix first came to India, it did not quite succeed as it would have liked. What were some of the reasons? They did not really start at the right note.
Let me start by asking you a question, Abhishek. Do you believe in God?
Well, I do, but I do not have a Netflix subscription. If
That tells you the story why Netflix has, become so big in India. This is the first line of Sacred Games season 1.
I
When
haven't seen that.
Nawazuddin Siddiqui,
Ah,
who is playing the role of Gautonde, he asked this, do you believe in God? So I don't know whether Netflix guys believe in God or not, but definitely they have made it big over the last 2 years, and especially after they rolled out their 199 mobile only plan. So was this a divine blessing in disguise, something for them? It has worked for them definitely, whatever that was.
right. I think initially it was quite pricey when it was launched. According to one estimate, it came to some 1 week's earnings of folks who are in the top 10 percentile of India's income earning bracket, which is more than 2,20,000 rupees. So that price tag of, I think it was $90 a year, that was quite expensive. Now they've slashed it tremendously, and you can watch Netflix for 200 rupees on one device, which is a mobile phone. And that's where your story takes a turn, and it says that India is the place to be when it comes to smartphones. And more crucially, folks are consuming more and more content on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will go back to Netflix initially had this pricing issue to crack. So India is a very different market as compared to the global market. You have seen why Apple struggles in India is precisely because of the pricing issue. So you need a special kind of pricing to crack the Indian market. And this is what Netflix did. Initially, coming for 450 or 500 rupee per month or 900 rupee per month was too steep a price for the Indian market where content was absolutely free. And people here didn't believe in this concept of paying for the content because they are so used to free content. So pricing has been a major issue for them, and they took some time to crack it. But what really changed the game for them, I believe, is the mobile only 199 plan. India happens to be the only country where people were watching Netflix mostly on mobile. And this tells you the story. And last year, if you remember, when Reed Hastings was in India, he set a very ambitious target of getting next 100 million Netflix users from India over the next couple of years.
I'm sure he was exaggerating, wasn't he?
No, but you never know, to be very honest. A couple of years back, who would have given smartphones a chance in India? Feature phone was ruling the roost. Going by the logic that we are talking about, who would have given Xiaomi, an outsider, a chance to become the biggest in India? Samsung was the biggest and other guys were the biggest. Xiaomi changed the game overnight. The internet consuming population in India is so huge and it's still under penetrated. That's the biggest thing. Another big plus for Netflix in India is that it's not present in China. So what it means is, if you look at the last quarter numbers of Netflix, 90% of the global growth has come outside US. So around 160 million subscribers that Netflix globally has, around 58 million is estimated to be in the US, which happens to be the biggest market. Now, the problem for Netflix is the biggest market or the home market is either stagnating or slowing down, or it's rife for tough competition from Disney and the guys like Apple, who have launched their own streaming platform.
The consumers are showing the right signs in that you write that in 2017, Indian viewers devoured a web series at a faster pace than global counterparts. That is 3 days as against the global average of 4, which means that there is, whatever you call it, whether it's binge watching or otherwise, if somebody gets hooked on, they lap up a series faster than others. And also the percentage of folks watching a movie is what you write. The time that they spend watching a movie on Netflix is the highest for any country worldwide, which means people also have the stamina to watch these long movies vis-a-vis the shorter formats, whether it's a small episode or a web series. So there are signs that are contributing to the fact that people are willing to switch from their satellite television and have some of that done on the mobile phone. Some of my friends don't have a Tata Sky or any other DTH subscription, because now it allows you to buy 1 or 2 days worth of subscription if there is an English Premier League or a cricket match going on, and the rest of the time it's is on Hotstar, Netflix, and a host of other competitors who are not charging too much anyway.
Yeah, this is what is happening. The fight main rival for all these players, whether Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or Hotstar, they are not competing against each other. The biggest competitor for them is linear television.
Right, and also YouTube perhaps, where you get all the data for free. And
Yeah, that's why, having an original series or an original movie becomes so important. Initially, for all these guys, the global movies or series was the biggest hook for Indian because Indians were not exposed to such high quality content coming from globally. So initially, that was for example, Narcos. That was a massive hit in India. So that was the biggest hook for Indians to get glued to Netflix. But now the biggest differentiator for all these platforms is original series. That's why you have seen all the players, including Amazon and Hotstar and Netflix, they're investing so much in the original content because this is what is going to differentiate them and get consumer stickiness.
this needs tremendous investments, which means you need to have long pockets and stay in the game long enough for you to make some money off it. Then that goes without saying.
So India is never going to be a sprint or a T20 game. It's a marathon. You need to stay invested, stay put in India. And you need to have that faith that India will pay you back, provided you play your game very wisely and smartly. You've got the right pricing, you've got the right content, and you've got the right execution.
And what about some of the neutral observers that you spoke with, or analysts or experts in the industry? How do they foresee Netflix chances in India?
See, OTT is becoming a cluttered market in India. So a couple of years back, there were only 12 players. Now there are more than 30 players. So it's over 2,000 players competing for consumers' attention. What also this clutter means that you have to invest heavily in the original content. And the fight, that's why I'm saying the fight for Netflix won't be easy in India. If anybody thinks that India is going to be a cake for them and 100 million is going to happen over the next 1 or 2 years, then it won't be the case. Because Amazon Prime Video is also there. Hotstar is also there, which has got some 300 million active users per month and which is biggest in India. Then there is YouTube, as you rightly said, to contend with. So fight is fierce. And anybody who gets cracking on all the three segments of pricing, content, and execution is eventually going to win the Indian market.
It's going to be an interesting fight and something that we hopefully will read a little more often in Forbes India in the near future. Thanks a lot, Rajiv, for your time on this one.
Thanks, Abhishek.
So that's about it from this podcast. You can download this podcast on ForbesIndia.com and on iTunes. And to have someone call you for a Forbes India subscription, message Forbes to 51818.